Into every generation, podcasters are born. Two guys in all the world, chosen ones. They alone will wield the strength and skill to discuss the vampires, demons, and the forces of darkness, to lament the spread of their evil and the swell of their number. This is the Untitled Buffy Project. Welcome to the second episode of the Untitled Buffy Project. This week we'll be taking a look at the second episode of Season 4, entitled Living Conditions, written by Marty Noxon and directed by David Grossman. In this episode, Buffy goes a little crazy after her roommate Kathy refuses to stop playing Believe by Cher on radio and asks her about who was drinking the milk out of their fridge. As she becomes more and more convinced that her roommate is crazy and evil, her friends become more and more concerned that Buffy herself is getting a little bit crazy. But who is actually right here? The answer probably won't surprise you.
Living Conditions.
Now, you were a little bit disappointed by the first episode because of kind of a failure to launch, I think.
I think that if I was the studio executive and Joss came to me and pitched me on the entire fourth season, I probably would have been like, yeah, green light, that sounds good. And then when I saw like what was going on in the first episode, I've been like, ugh, okay, we're gonna give
Vamps
you this money.
of the week, Joss? Really?
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna give you this money and I'm gonna trust that you know what you're doing. But I think that this first episode, like when the ratings on this first episode come back and they're lower than we all expected, I'm gonna be able to exert some more control over you creatively. Bad move, Joss. Should have blown it out of the park. Because I thought that the first episode of the third season was very creative and also somewhat poorly executed. So, I mean, this is like not an uncommon thing for Joss.
Yeah. But the second episode, which was written by Marty Noxon, who has gone on to, I think she's currently producing Glee, she roped it back into a very college experience, The Roommate.
Yes.
The roommate who will drive you crazy.
Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of people have this experience, and if they haven't, they can relate to it. They either have...
I've had this experience.
Yeah, they have. I've had this experience. I've had this experience with a friend who's no longer a friend of mine.
Gasp. It was serious.
It was serious. And I think, yeah, a lot of people, this speaks to a lot of people, and I thought that it was just so tightly written and paced, and it was just perfect. Like, it like built up to a boil, and then it added, you know, that Buffy angle, that Buffy demon angle, and I think that everybody just played their part perfectly, and that it was executed very well, and that it was also very funny, and I loved it. Loved it.
We're deliberately left in the dark about what exactly is going on for so long that it reaches a tipping point where you're like, is Buffy actually going crazy right now? Is college doing this to her? Is college going to do this to me?
Yes. But I mean, like, it starts out so simply, just that like everyday passive aggressivism that can begin to poison a relationship or whatever.
Labeling everything, asking like, where are you going?
Well, asking the question where it's like the two of them are the only ones in that room, and her roommate. Oh man, what's her roommate's name?
Kathy.
What a bad name.
What a great
name.
Yeah, you're already annoyed at her. Oh, Kathy.
Kathy gets up as Buffy's about to leave, and she's like, I was just wondering, did you have some of my milk? And she's like, well, who else would have had some of your milk? The milk gnomes?
They come in at night.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, if it's only the two of you, then yeah, you know that I had some milk. Why don't you just come out and say, hey, you know, it'd be kind of like, I paid for that milk, and I'm cool if we share and we come up with an agreement, but hey, if you want some, can you just ask, you know? No, let's be passive-aggressive about it. Stealing shirts or stealing blouses.
Refusing to turn off Believe by Cher.
Also, by the way, she's listening to, like, the best of VH1. Do you remember when VH1 had music?
No.
I love... There's lots of, like close-up, slow-mo things in this episode. I love when Kathy is wearing Buffy's sweater and she's eating a hamburger, and there's like a ketchup like slip, and it just like slowly drips down to her blouse, and Buffy's eyes are just like rage.
They over dramatize all these things.
Yeah, exactly. Although pretty early on, when Kathy is trying to like even the milk score when she takes Buffy's sweater, she just goes through her stuff. That is like the most uncool thing you can do in a roommate situation.
Right.
Like going through someone's stuff without asking, like going through your personal stuff, that like sends me off. And she found her Slayer materials, but for some reason didn't care.
And she found her stuff and is just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when we learn the true story of Kathy, I guess maybe she was just like, oh, maybe some humans, maybe that's what some humans keep in their closet.
Maybe. Although I have a series of notes in here. Just, oh my God, I hate Kathy. Kill Kathy, kill her now, kill her with fire. It's just like, I was on Buffy's side up to the point where I thought that Buffy was going crazy.
Yeah, and we haven't seen a whole lot of Giles yet this season because they knew him, like they saw him all the time because he was at the school, and now that they're out of the school, he's been kind of out of the picture, but they finally rope him back in to try and help figure out this one.
Yeah.
And he is the one who figures it out, right? Based on Buffy's dreams.
Yeah, I'm actually a little hazy on that because they determine that they have the same dreams, and Buffy delivers the toenail clippings, and doesn't he eventually figure out like, oh, the toenail clippings are growing without being attached to someone?
We thought she was just being weird and meticulous, but no, they really are growing.
Yeah, they really are growing. And actually, there's a moment in sidebar. There's a moment in this episode with what you have alluded to as being the big bad, these military dudes. It's who shares this look with that girl? Was it Xander?
Yes, it was.
Xander's walking, I think, and he sees a girl, and they kind of have like a little moment, and then she kind of is like walking away and there's like military dudes with her, and it's like, what's going on with that?
They're tracking like a pack of vampires or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, military dudes.
It's just like kind of going on in the background.
Yeah.
We'll catch up with that later.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I think that the pressure buildup in this episode was just so perfect because you get to a point where like, Buffy, you're going crazy. Like, you're crazy. You can't believe that Kathy is like a demon. You're just like mad. You're just totally insane.
You're just being annoyed by roommate behavior.
But she tells Willow, like, Kathy's evil. I'm a Slayer. I have to kill her.
I vanquish evil. So there we go. That's the solution.
So she's convinced she's a demon. So kill her with fire.
So the guys bind her, but of course they don't do a very good job. I never understand why they think that they're going to be able to easily overpower her, because she is like superhuman. She has superhuman strength.
Yeah. And Xander has the line of the episode when he says, "Why couldn't Giles have shackles like any self-respecting bachelor?"
Why didn't Xander bring his?
I know, right? So, yeah, she obviously is able to overpower them. Well, she unties herself and overpowers.
Smashes their heads together like it's the Three Stooges.
Exactly.
Doink.
But at that point, Giles has figured out what's going on, and he knows how to, like, stop whatever Kathy has been doing to Buffy.
She's been trying to steal Buffy's soul so that when the thing comes to collect her, it will take the one without the soul. And Giles figures out which, particular incantation, because he knows them all. He's got them in a book. Which thing he's got to do to send the soul back to the correct person.
Right, and then they get into just an epic room fight, just like throwing each other around and breaking stuff in their dorm room.
Which starts with Buffy ripping off Kathy's face.
Yes, and revealing that she is indeed one of these creepy demons.
Like these
That we
trans-dimensional demons we've seen little snippets of.
Yeah, they got the glowing eyes like the Fremen from Dune, which you haven't read, I know, and I need to stop referencing. They get into a huge fight, and things are like breaking and shattering, and walls are like they're hitting the walls and whatever. And a guy just like opens up a door and is like, "Hey, you guys, some of us are trying to study."
That was great. That was a great little throwaway joke.
Well, anyway, what the ending is just too much. It's too much. Should we spoil it? I love the ending.
Yeah, we're assuming that everyone's watched this.
It is just too much. She is basically a trans-dimensional teenager, and the thing coming to collect her is her dad.
She's run away to go to Human Earth College.
Yep.
That's her rebellion. You can't tell me what to do. I'm going to go to college.
It's just too much. It's too good. I love it. And he basically is like, "You will go home right now,"
and you're grounded.
Yeah, basically, and you're grounded, and sends her through like a trans-dimensional portal back to wherever she came from, and then that's basically where the episode ends, and Willow moves in with Buffy.
We've gotten to see a couple shots of Willow's room, which is just like there's a party going on one half, and Willow is trying to study on the other half. So this is a good situation for her, hopefully.
Yes. Although the episode ends with what does Willow do?
Doesn't she bite into the apple that Buffy brought home?
Yeah.
That she specifically told Kathy was hers?
Yeah. And
it was a sandwich. It was a sandwich. Are you going to finish this?
And then before Buffy answers, she takes a bite of it, and then the camera just zooms right in on Buffy's eyes, and she's just like,
rage.
So good, so good. I don't know I don't know anything about the next episode, but I'm excited to see it, especially if it keeps up at this pace.
Yeah, I think we were introduced to a character, Parker, this little kind of romantic interest for Buffy. We're gonna see a little bit of an arc with him.
I'm looking forward to it, man.